Welcome to the Magnet, episode 1 podcast. To my right, 1.5 metres away, I would like to introduce the Hairy Chef. And before I introduce him, I just want to tell him there's no F in job keeper or job seeker before he tells us what he's up to. How are you, Hairy Chef?
I'm very good, thank you, Grantley. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. I just wanted to say thanks to Major Tom, anyone out there looking for a video, live streaming, podcast, editing, marketing, anything for your business, any influencers out there that want to be an influencer, just get in touch with the Codge. He can help you out there with all your multimedia needs. Also, I'd like to thank MP Chelsea Demolition. You can contact them on 039 770 8810. They're the specialists in recycled building materials. So get along and see them. Go see Josh and he'll look after you. Just wanted to also just give a run through of the show tonight. So we are catching up with the senior coach, Josh Bull. All things netball with Jean-Michel. We're going to share a demon tale with a very special guest. All the past players out there should be really nervous. We've got the wheel here. We're going to give it a spin. There's plenty of names on here. Whoever it lands on is going to get a call. It's going to be quite funny. We're going to go through a segment here called the Best 22, Week 1. This week's team is called The Factory. I'd like to thank the Gumption Blake for sending it in. We will hopefully have a prize for the person that can guess why he sent it in and what the relevance is of it. We're going to go through that. I'll pass it over to the Hairy Chef. What's happening, Chef? Tell me a little bit.
Not much. Just, in isolation, lockdown, homeschooling with the kids, which is going really bad.
Really bad, yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
Yep.
I left school early and I'm the worst teacher out. But they're lucky enough to have the greatest lunches they've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So they had ramen, massaman curry, they're getting looked after. So besides that, I'm bored like everyone else.
Yeah, yep.
And my alcohol consumption is reached another level. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just
sensational.
Mental.
Yeah.
I'm now on blood pressure tablets, which I haven't been in all my life.
Yep.
The doctor's not impressed with me. You know what I mean? He says, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Yep.
And basically I just get up, do nothing, watch TV all day, in me underpants, and get drunk at about 4 o'clock. So yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah. So you're going to start the diabetes club down here. I'm a candidate. Lucky the double doors are here. That's how much weight I've put on in the off season.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've seen a Monty Python movie, Meaning of Life, that's me. You know what I mean? So it's not good. I've been meaning to get up and do some fitness and do for a walk every day, but the only walk I do is probably 13 steps to the couch.
To the couch, yeah.
I think I broke my record the other day and had 112 steps in the whole day. So
yeah,
pretty proud of that, actually. It's a goal for me. So, yeah, it's been pretty tough, but you know what I mean? And tough, no footy, you know what I mean? It's just a weird situation everywhere at the moment, so everyone's in the same boat. So I suppose the whole point of this little thing is to keep everyone connected and give them a bit of a laugh and sort of,
Yep.
It's all going to end soon enough, let's hopefully, and have a bit of a giggle and get through it together. So
yeah, and that's a reason for our 2 calls tonight as well, to speak to Josh and give a message to the players about the season, so he can give a really good message to the players to tell them where it's at the moment and what we're looking forward to, and same as Jean-Michel with the netball teams.
And before I'll cut in, because that's what I do better. Thanks for you two guys for sort of hitting me up with this. I thought it was just a great idea. I would have never thought of that, you know what I mean? And it is. And like I said, it'll keep everyone in the club connected, and they can have a bit of a laugh and write in, ring in, ask us questions and stuff like that, take the pee, and just have a bit of fun in these shitty times. So it's great. I think it's a really great idea. So good on you boys. Well done.
Yeah, that's okay. And we will... anyone has any questions or comments you'd like to send them through, we'll try and answer them.
Really nice. I've already seen one from Badger. It is 1.5, Mike. It's just the scale of things, okay? And that's coming from the name of Fathead, okay? So you know about scale. Yeah?
I was saying to the Hairy Chef before, about 1.5 metres is probably the closest I got to an opponent anyway, so it's no different for me.
You wouldn't have been Robinson Crusoe, would you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so anyway, one thing we do need to go through, and we're really thankful, is our sponsors this year. And look, they've stuck by us in thick and thin, and this year, of course, is thin. And before we do go on that, just remember too, we came up with the name. We wanted to call the show The Magnet, probably because The Magnet, although it had some great times, it also had some low times. It was a place that we all went to when we needed a bit of a hand and things were bad, whether it was a few beers after a funeral or a relationship breakup. That never happened, but I'm just putting it out there. Relationship breakups and
God, that was in DNA 25
yeah,
years
that's
ago.
right. Yeah. So you know what I mean. So we always went there. We always had someone to speak to, talk to. We had fun times.
Absolutely.
We could climb the beam on the roof or
Absolutely.
throw some pool balls around or have a fight with some pool cues or something. Or
watch the fan.
yeah, things like that. So
reverse skull too.
Reverse skull.
There was plenty. We're just going to be a bit wary on the stories we tell and what we can't tell because there's still probably legal pending going on.
Yeah,
so.
but I must say I do miss the Mission Brown bricks when I look at the brand new rooms here and I look out to the ground and it looks like carpet. And we were running through potholes when I was playing.
I don't think these guys understand what mud is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Or at Beaky, rocks.
The Beaky rocks.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was our Saturday taken care of.
Yeah. And the old, we used to love the old Cranbourne cocktail list. It was quite good fun, and we just miss all the old characters that used to come to the Magnet.
That was the only thing we actually beat them on.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
even then we come
exactly right.
They get a rough draw. You know what I mean?
That's right. Exactly.
Look, for my behalf, it was great. You know, I was. Everyone's heard this story. For all the old guys, I've told it a million times.
Yep.
So born in Sydney, come here in 1974. Had the monks next door to me. Everyone around the corner, the McKays, and everyone in the street and stuff. Well, there you go. They're flying, aren't they? And then in 1975, Monkey dragged me down here and I started playing. I was, I think, 7 in under 11s. I played with Jock and a heap of good. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. I was out of my league. I was just this scrawny little scared kid. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But they took me in that day, made me a part of this.
Yep.
And it always has been my home from that day. And like you said, through good times and bad times, this is a place you could always go in and get looked after.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
It's always been a terrific club like that, and they look after.
Exactly right.
As mad as it has been, and it's been insane.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always looked after each
it
other.
has.
So that's the best part about the club.
All the turns we've had for people that have been in tough times, all the jobs that have been created from people that have been out of work, the foot constructions doing the Molly's Brick Lane, things like that.
Graham Close,
Graham Close, who gave me
a year ago.
Yes.
I had one of my knees, one of my 17 knee operations.
Yep.
He gave me a job.
Yeah,
No worries in the
that's
world,
right.
You know what I mean? They're just great people. They just really looked after each other. So it was a really great place to be in. So.
A cheerio to both Kate and Jason. I know it's a year anniversary today of Graham's the dude passing.
Yep.
So thinking of you guys, we'll actually raise. We will raise a glass.
Good on you, dude.
Good on you, dude. Great guy and a great family. We're just about ready for our first guest. I'm guessing.
I'll give him a call.
Yeah, give him a call. Oh yeah, actually, we'll just before we start, we'll get Todd the Hairy Chef to go through the sponsor list because we really want to thank him for hanging in there with us. So go for it.
I just want to call you. That's called professionalism. Okay?
Professionalism.
Yeah, it's the first time that'll come out of my mouth. Yeah? I would really like to thank the following sponsors for their continued help. Even though we haven't done anything this year, but it's vitally important these guys get on board. So Chelsea Heights IGA, BJS Insurance Group, eLogical, Fifth Ab Plumbing, I love it. Temptation Bakeries, Your Pharmacy up at Chelsea Heights, Harry McGee, what a cracking name. The Honourable Mark Travis, Resurrection Auto Restorers, that's a bit of my old talent there.
Yeah, right.
Penalbeater, spray painter. Long Beach Osteopathy, Balance Massage Service, Area Dance and Nightclub on your sprinkles, and Body Shop Paint Supplies. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
we
thanks,
really
guys.
appreciate it.
We really
stick with
do
us. We'll
appreciate
get your
it.
season up and running somehow, but stick with us. You've joined a good club and you're sponsoring a great club.
Exactly. And anyone out there that needs any of those products, get out there and support your local because it's really important. The Hairy Chef was telling me that he swung past IGA tonight and picked up a bottle of red. It broke the budget, but he said it was a good occasion.
It was actually a bottle of Grange, but I just put the Rawson's Retreat on show because I don't want to be all high and mighty, you know what I mean? So, but good on IGA. They're on discount too. It's only $9.
Okay, I'm just going to give
give Josh a call and we'll patch him in and have a bit of a chat.
The number you have called is not connected.
Oh.
Please check the number before calling again. The number you have called is not connected.
Paid his bill. Hey? Oh, you won't be getting paid this week. Do you know trivia? His father, Chris,
Yep.
bulldozed the old magnet down.
Oh, right.
He did. I
Yep.
went out there one day, and that's their business. He was down there with a machine pulling it down. So I went through the safety barrier, and I went up to him. I said, "Do you mind if I pinch a couple of bricks?" So we've got 3 of the original bricks made of the magnet.
Yep.
And,
The number you have called is not connected.
they're at my house.
Please check the number before calling again.
Well,
The number you have called is not connected.
do you reckon you've got the wrong number?
I don't know. We'll get Nicole onto
We
the...
want to get our
Let's get our floor manager onto this.
Yeah,
Where is our floor manager gone?
Jeez, we're going swimmingly too, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
I'm
That was
thinking,
just
hang on
kinda
a second.
smooth.
Setting the world on fire this week. Not connected. Maybe it's not us. Maybe he just didn't pay his bill. But well, anyway, it's not for me to judge.
Have you got the number there? Oh, Nicole's got it.
I've got no idea what I'm doing. I've got nothing. Where is the lovely Nicole?
I'm looking for the phone number of Josh.
Josh Bull. So we just keep rambling on, I suppose.
Yeah, just get
Yeah, I'll just keep rambling. And I do remember, I was saying before, Chris Bull, I do remember him as a kid. And all I remember him seeing was him on crutches. So I'm assuming he had some really bad knee injuries.
That's why I like the guy.
Yeah,
Bit in
yeah,
common,
yep.
you know what I mean? Except for the fact he probably had some skill. You know, and I just had a wonky knee. So, but he's a lovely guy, Josh. I haven't really met him much before this year, but he's done some super stuff already for the
Here
club.
we are.
Here we are.
Hello.
Hi, Josh.
Yeah, speaking.
Yeah, it's Grant calling from the Magnet. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. I'm watching. You must have dialed the wrong number or something to start with there. So,
Yeah, that's okay. We've just said that. Most people aren't paying their bills at the moment anyway, so
Yeah.
don't worry about it. Oh, my phone's probably disconnected. No one's paying
Yeah,
it.
Mate,
it's
Grant's
ringing.
got
It's
an extra 6
ringing now.
number.
Yep, all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just wanted to go ask
Hello?
you. Yeah, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
wanted to ask you a few questions. That's all. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
No worries at all.
So, Josh, Todd Pegram here. How are you, mate?
G'day, mate. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to hit you up for a bit of your stuff later on, but that's another private thing. Look,
Yeah.
first question we've got for you. Tell us a bit about yourself, why you're down at the club, and just a bit of history, and why you've sort of decided to coach the Heights for this year.
Yeah. Well, I like to think I'm still a young fella. I guess 33 years of age. Live in Karen with my wife, Anne. We're doing a bit of renos at the minute, so that's we're in Karen, so just renos on the house there. Footy ball days. I've been pretty lucky to be involved at 2 pretty strong, professional, family-orientated footy clubs. Those being the Frankston Bombers Footy Club and also the Bomb Beach Footy Club. So I've been there since I was, really small and grown up through there, and followed that through both the footy clubs. And like I said, they're great to be. They're great to be a part of those clubs, and I look forward to bringing the stuff that I've learned through those footy clubs into the Heights.
Great stuff, mate. Great stuff. Now, I'll just get one little thing. Time for a little plug for your business. Okay? So give us a plug.
Yeah.
How can we get in contact you? What do you sell? What do you do? What are you about?
You mentioned before, we actually did pull down the old club room there at the Heights.
Absolutely.
I was working with Dad then, so I think I've actually still got a couple of numbers from the old scoreboard floating around down the yard, so we might be able to,
Oh,
drag them out from somewhere and auction them off somewhere throughout the year or something. But I do remember doing that. It was one of the earliest jobs that I did with when I started with Dad. So obviously, we do house demolition, and then we recycle our materials and resell recycled timber, flooring, and the like, all from the houses we pull down.
Nice. So what's it called, and how do we get in contact with you? You got a website, you got a thing, you got Facebook. I don't think you're not a massive social media guy, so how do we get in contact with you?
I'm not a massive social media person myself, but we do have the website for the business, which is We Recycle Everything at werecycleeverything.com.
Nice.
So we're doing a little bit of work on that, rebooting that with the latest of the COVID and stuff. So we've been doing a little bit of stuff on that last few weeks. So jump on there, and all the links to our social media and stuff like that are on there.
Nice. Question number 2, mate. Self-isolation, how you handle it, what you doing?
It's not hasn't been actually too bad. Myself and Em are pretty lucky that we've been able to continue with our day-to-day work. So that makes it a little bit easier for people like us. So we're able to get up and head into work. So it hasn't been too bad. A little bit at the start, a little bit upset with the no thing getting in the scheme of things. It's only a small thing. So the slow pace of the way things are going now, I don't mind it's things slowing down a little bit. Obviously want footy to get back, but all the other stuff has slowed down. I must be getting old, mate, but I'm enjoying it a little bit as well.
That's great. I was going to ask you too, Josh. Where's the team magnet board been? Has it been in the bath, the bedroom, the beer, the beer shed? Where's it been?
That's a good question. It still sits out, and I obviously before we got shut down, we'd already played a practice game, so the board was out, and I'd thrown around different sides and possible scenarios for round one side and stuff, as you do as a coach. But yeah, the board's been in and out of the cupboard, but I kind of use it as a bit of a reference thing just to check in on the guys and see how they're going. When their names are there to look at, you can pull one across and check in and see how they're doing. So it hasn't been thrown away, and the cobwebs are off, mate, and I'm ready to give it a go. So.
Nice work, mate. You know about the isolation, the 1 point, was it 1.5?
Yeah, the 1.5.
I think it should be about 300 metres. Because I don't really like many people, you know what I mean? So maybe 5 metres for my friends and complete dickheads, 300 metres, you know what I mean? That's my point on it anyway. Let's whack that in. So mate, I'll give you the floor now. What we need to know of you is what's the current situation in the club with the players, the league? Does anybody know when we're going to get back? If we're going to get back, how are the boys travelling? Just give us a rundown on what's going on, mate. You know what I mean?
How long does your show go for?
Mate, I can waffle on for hours. Keep going. Just keep talking. I've got a bottle of beer here.
You might need to whip down to that local IGA and get another one, mate. I could be here for a while going through this.
Right, mate. Just get,
It's definitely a hard one to give a decisive answer on what can happen moving forward. There's obviously a fair bit still to play out. I think the easy thing would be for me just to read what was sent out from. There's been a fair bit of back and forth between the Southern Footy League and us and the Footy Club and Kelly just about what might happen. This email was sent to me yesterday. So I'll just quickly read this out. I won't go on too long, and I'll just give you probably my point of what I think may or may not happen. So it just reads, the Metro Football League CEOs will be meeting on May 12th, post the state government review date of the May 11th to consider a return to play. The AFL will also be making announcements around this time with their plans. At this moment, we are still committed that nothing will happen before May 31st. And it will come down to social distancing rules and mass gathering rules that will be in place by the government post that. The Metro CEOs have met with AFL Victoria to formulate a case for return to play, Sport and Recreation Victoria, to take the discussion to state government level. It's encouraging that the federal CMO is now public discussing community sport and social wellbeing of it and the need to resume when it can. So, obviously, everyone wants to get back to football, and it's not just our comps, but comps all around Australia are wanting to get back to football. I think if from what I hear, the social distancing laws may be eased after that meeting that the government have on the 11th, and if they are eased, I gather we will be able to return to small groups. So if that's the case on a football perspective type side of things, small groups, I can group the guys up into groups of 8 or 10, which they can continue on with some training, obviously in their groups. There's been a discussion around a 9-game season, which would mean that we play every side, side once, obviously, with a normal final series at the end of that. There's a few other things there that possibly could take place. There was talk earlier about football coming back with no crowds. I think that's more to do with the AFL, obviously, with bigger numbers in crowds. But I would assume that I wouldn't be the only one in this boat by saying if there was no crowds at local footy, that we just wouldn't be able to get up and running.
I would say that's going to be impossible, you know what I mean? Because the crowds at local footy are small enough, let alone, you know, you're just crucifying everyone. And, you know, that's it. Local footy's about crowds and your mates and your family, you know what I mean? So it's small
That's
enough
right.
as it is.
So it just won't, I don't think that'll, without crowds, obviously, can't really get much revenue in either, you know, canteen, bar. And, yeah, it would be hard for local clubs like ourselves to get up and running. So they're saying it's possible that there could be a start of June, which would be a return. The start of June would be a return to normal training. And then that would allow us a 3-week period before starting from June, 3 weeks, and then possible start of the season. So it would be pretty much for the boys a mini pre-season in the midst of the biggest pre-season they've probably ever done, I guess. So but that's kind of it in a nutshell, I guess. Those dates there were again where the CEOs will meet on the May the 12th. After the government meeting on May the 11th. So we will know more in there. If those distancing rules get eased a little, it'll make it easier for us to be able to to get the guys in some groups and start getting the footies buzzing around a bit.
That's a really, really good update. So simply there for me is I should just get my boots out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's right. I reckon I would have loved to have just said, drag the training bag out, the footy bag out and get down to training Tuesday night. But unfortunately, that's not the case yet. But let's hope, like I said, in a week or two that things are looking good and we can get back to footy.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's a really good comprehensive update for all the guys out there that are listening. And obviously, if they have any further questions, they can just get in contact with you.
That's right.
Yeah, the next question. I know you can drag out your 2-hour presentation that you probably did for your interview, but I just wanted to get an insight here on what helps you get the best out of your playing group and just to get the challenge, the challenge to get your group up, consistent footy. Week in, week out. Just from my playing days, I remember getting a flying start one year. I think we won our first 5 games, and we didn't win a game after that. How quickly you can get to the top of the mountain too quickly, and how quickly it can fall away. And when it does fall away, it is really a cancer, isn't it? It's very hard.
Yeah, you probably you bang on. It does fall away pretty quickly, but you can also turn things around pretty quickly. And I think. From my point of view, coming to a new club that we've brought a lot of new players into, a lot of new people into, it can be a little bit worrying to think, all these guys going to fit in. Are they going to click? Are they going to gel? Is it going to take 2 weeks? Is it going to take 2 months? At the start, I suppose, when we first started training, we probably had numbers of, maybe 16, 18, 20, that type of thing on the track, which I thought at the start wasn't too bad. I wasn't sure what to expect. But as the pre-season come along, I think in our last month of training, we would have had 40-plus guys on the training track. So that was a credit to the guys that just kept turning up. You mentioned the word consistency before. I think that's the main thing that I'm trying to get into these guys is the consistency to train and be consistent in your training. Rocking up one session out of the 2, I don't think it's enough. If you want to improve, and not just individually, but also as a group. If you can consistently get there week in and week out, and get on the track and get your hands on the footy, and it's not even just a footy thing. I think I mentioned all the new recruits. The more time that we spend around each other, the quicker it's going to go. And once you get that kind of click and that back and forth banter going between the boys, which I think they started to get towards the end of the season, I think that goes a long way into getting some results on field come game time.
Yeah, excellent.
They have been gelling well. It's, like I said, it's building up to a really exciting season. You know what I mean? There's a lot of new players. You know, the practice game was a practice game. We all know that, but there's a lot of gelling, even on like I said, the numbers, the talk and stuff like that around the club. It was building out to be really exciting. So it's sort of just been knocked on the head through, and I don't know. I suppose every club's like that. You know what I mean? I've got one more question for you. Insight in the current list and players you're looking forward to seeing this year. You know what I mean? There's a few oldies still hanging around. I think the old bloke Matto's going to have a run around still, and there's a lot of young kids.
I think Matto's stuck on the other side of the world still. I think, but we'll be happy to have him back when he gets back, if he can get back. I'm not sure if anyone listening got a private plane that we can get him home for, but I said before, how long have you got? So. I have got my board in front of me, so I can quickly run through. I won't go into too much detail on what type of player and stuff, because I could be here all night, but I can quickly run through the inclusions. And apologies if I miss someone, because I've got a fair bit of happening here with the Magnets. But we added, I think, probably 15 to 20 new guys to the side for this season. That's really good for the footy club. I've been lucky over my footy career to date to form some good relationships with some guys that I thought in my head, if I did get an opportunity at senior level, that I would give them a call or a message and try and get them over. And I've been able to do that with a couple of guys. And once I've locked, those guys in, there's been a few others that have followed along, which has been great. So Gary Carpenter, Joel Rippingale, Sheldon Price and Ezekiel Turner all come from Bomb Beach. We've got Nate Robinson from East Melbourne, who's a former, he's coached East Melbourne in the last, I think, 3 years. Also played with him and had a bit to do with him at Bomb Beach. Tim Robbins is from Mount Eliza. We've got 3 really young, exciting kids down from across the ditch there at Chelsea. Vince, Joel King and Juzzy Ferber. I'm looking forward to seeing how they go. A guy from Edith Vale, Aspendale, Jake O'Neill. Jordan Greco, which he comes to us from Beechworth. He's moved down this way. And then there's also a couple other guys that have come across. The 2 Cochran brothers. I think Shane's played at Chelsea Heights, been back and forth to Bomb Beach. Yeah, so he returns, brings his brother. Another guy called Briggsy and also Tim O'Shaughnessy have joined us. And then...
what about the big fella? Big person.
Yeah. So I've got him. He's down there too. So we've got big Gus Mack and another guy that runs for, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's known to us by Barter. Now these 2 are probably we've got a lot of all the ins and also obviously all the guys that are Chelsea Heights boys and have been there for the last couple of years. They've all been training well, but the 2 that I'm probably most excited to see play are those 2 that I last mentioned. So that's Barter and Gus Mack. So both these guys come from a basketball background, haven't played a lot of footy. I don't think Barter's played much at all. I know that Gus played a little bit in the junior footy club. Obviously comes across to join his brother Rob. These 2 are big guys. They're probably 6'5", 6'6". They're young. They're strong. They move really well. They've got really good leg speed, and are also, from the little bit that I saw of both of them in the practice game, are really good below their knees and at ground level, which is really exciting for a big guy. They're really raw. They're really eager to learn, but I think just from watching them each training session, they just seem to get better and better as they feel a bit more comfortable with the oval ball, I guess. But they're probably the 2 that I'm really looking forward to watching progress and hopefully being able to help them out and improve them as the year goes on. Big Show, Big Smith, he's been down there the last 2 or 3 weeks of pre-season, and he's been taking them aside and giving them a bit of a hand with their ruck work and just their body work and that type of thing, positioning and bits and pieces. So I'm really appreciative that he's come down and give us a hand with those 2.
Yeah, it's very good of the Big Show. I just hope he doesn't eat on Thursday night, because he loses the profits from the club. He eats about 5 chickens every time he comes down. He's a monster. He's a good man. He's actually a good man.
Yeah. it's a great to see him back down there and getting involved.
Yeah, it's a really good spread too that you said too. So it's great having guys coming from various clubs of various experience, playing different styles of footy as well. So it's going to be really interesting, isn't it? Yeah,
it will. It's all the guys that I had there as I'm looking over them now. They're a real versatile playing group that we've got across. Even mixing in with the other guys, there's guys that can play multiple positions, and I think one of the days with footy where you're a fullback and you're a fullback, you didn't move. I think these guys can play multiple positions. They can play, you can play anywhere. Like for example, you got someone like Gary Carpenter who's played a lot of good football, a lot of high standing footy. Can play, he'll probably start, down back, but he can also play on ball, and I know that he's got a great set of hands as well. So to throw him, in the forward line, maybe for a goal here and there, we can do that. So he's just one example. I could go through the whole list and make cases for them all to be able to play in different positions, and that's what I'll be looking to do. I'll be looking to swing him around and try and cause a bit of chaos when they do.
Good on you, mate. Look, to finish up, and we just want to thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. It's a great insight. You're a lovely kind of a guy. You're a very family-orientated football guy, and it's a pleasure to have you at the Heights. Just to finish up, you want to send out a cheerio to anyone you're missing, relos you haven't seen, or in ISO or lockdown. If you want to have a plug or give us 5 seconds, but don't give us 25 minutes. You know what I mean? Just say,
I'll give you 30 seconds to a minute. I do quickly, before I sign off and let you boys get on with the show. Congratulations on getting this up and running. I think it could be a really good thing moving forward. So well done for getting things up and about. I did want to mention my coaching staff and Ad, the crew coach, and all involved with him and our committee and everyone behind the scenes who've been working tirelessly, helping me out. I'm obviously new, so they've made me feel really comfortable. So I just want to thank all those guys. They know who they are. I do have to give a shout out to a good mate of mine, Chris Pendleton. Petters, he'll be listening in tonight. I've dragged him across to be my runner this year, so just keep an eye out for him. He'll be in the fluoro pink. And if you can't find him out on the ground, he won't be too far from the bar. So
I'll find him out real quick. Don't worry about that.
So he's a bit of a character. He's also got a really good footy now, so I play a lot of footy with him. He reads me pretty well, so I look forward to having him out there as well to help us when we get up and running. Yep. So other than that, I just want to say, I probably want to say a big thank you to probably the playing group to start with. I think they've led the way this year with their training, and now I think for everybody else in the Heights family to jump on board and to get around us. So our supporters, our sponsors, our past players. I'm obviously really new and really raw, and I'd love to see all you guys around the footy club. And I don't know a lot about the Chelsea Heights Footy Club, but I can pick up pretty quickly the guys that are involved there. As the podcast is called, as a magnet, they get drawn back, and I'm hoping that this is the year that they get back down there. Because I know it's been a couple of rough years. It doesn't just come from your 22 that gets selected that run out at 2 o'clock. It goes all the way down to your supporters and your past players, and just having people there helping out. So hopefully we can get back to the footy and hopefully get some big crowds down there and have a good year.
Really, really well said. You're a ripping bloke, and thanks very much for your time. And also, as you mentioned in your Cheerios there, Ads, we're hoping to get him on next week. When I was running around, it was actually called the Frosties, the reserves, but now we're more into the development of players, so it is the development squad nowadays. We're hoping to get Ads on next week to have a chat to him, so hopefully we can do that. So thanks very much for your time.
No worries at all, guys.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, guys.
And I just wanted to mention MP Chelsea Demolition 039 770 8810. Specialists in recycling building materials. So give them a call. Whatever you need, I'm sure they've got it.
Hey, I've been there a couple of times. They've got heaps of good
They've
stuff.
got heaps of good stuff. And look,
And just drop your name, drop anyone's name, drop the magnet, and just screw in for a couple
you will.
of
And
months. He's got
why?
plenty, apparently.
Can I ask you why you would line up at Bunnings when you can go get a really good recycled product, probably made out of steel and timber instead of plastic?
Absolutely quality. I actually got some for a cafe I was working in, some really quality stuff. He gave me a great price.
Good
It's a really
stuff.
good, absolute gentleman like Josh and his dad and everyone who works there. So get down there and check him out. So that'd be great.
Yep. No worries.
I just want to say one thing too. We're getting a bit of feedback on the live here. There's some interesting conversations going on.
Yeah.
None about us. You know what I mean? We're having little private moments. So a couple of blokes probably should get a room, but I appreciate it. And Ralphie, I don't know what I'm saying a million times though, but I say it anyway. So thanks for comment and thanks for everyone to do it. And ask a few questions, whack it in.
Yeah,
give
whack
us a
it
few
in.
comments, and cause it's all appreciated. We'll learn from this one on. So cheers, I really appreciate it.
And while we're on there, I just want the hairy chef to stand up and show us his footwear. Is he brave enough to do this?
I'm brave enough, but I've done something tonight that I've never done in my 52 years or 51 and a half years.
I wouldn't like it.
What happens? I got a bit soft. Nicole, when I come down in, Nicole said they're going to open the back sliding doors. I go, oh, it's cold. I spent 5 weeks in front of the heater in my underpants. You know what I mean? Got to go and see the real world. So the first thing I grabbed was, well, they're not mockies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not from Franger. Right? They're more your Patterson Lakes, woolen boots. You know what I mean? So you might have a look at them. They're pretty good. They match. They're as nearly as hairy as my legs. I don't know if you can see them.
Do we have a waxing service as one of our
I've done it
sponsors?
before. I did it at Carol's thing. It's no good, trust me. They keep you warm. The little thingers are up and down. She's a bit Piccadilly down here, but we'll do anything for the club.
One thing it's really, I guess, a great combine that's coming later with football clubs is netball clubs. So
Absolutely.
that association between the two clubs and that stronger bond, and it just made sense, didn't it, when that happened, the amalgamations between the two of them. I wish they had had them in my day because I would have played netball, I think. I was probably a better netballer than a footballer. So we're gonna catch up with Jean-Michel, is it?
That's the question.
That's the
the
question
million-dollar
we'll find
question
out.
We're going to ask him.
But
There's a few. I don't want to brag, but I did French at school a couple of times. So I know 3 words: Où est la plage? Where's the beach? Le Bic, Le Stilo, and Le Guette. There's a couple other ones anyway. But that's the first question we should ask him. And it's good. It's a good point because we got the netball club up and running a few years ago, and it sort of died in the arse a little bit. There was a bit of going on. You know what I mean? It just didn't work. So we've got it back this year, and we're lucky to have Jean-Michel on, and he's a passionate guy about netball. So, it's really, really good. We've got some lovely girls want to throw on the bib and play. So hopefully we're going to have a chat to him and see how he goes.
Yeah.
As you can hear, this phone number works.
He pays his bill. Frenchies. Got a couple of bucks. His gitines.
Hello,
Hey.
Jean-Michel.
Yes, mate.
Yeah, it's Grant calling from the Magnet. How are you?
Yeah, mate. Good. I'm watching.
Yeah, good. I've got the hairy chef with me as well. We were just talking about your name, making sure
I'm listening.
The pronunciation, because we want to get it right. Otherwise, we're just going to look at the Frenchman. We don't upset you for the first. We want you to walk out.
That's all right.
Stuff like that. So, is it Jean-Michel? Is that?
All good. Look, mate. So, I'm finding just a little bit hard at this. And so, how you guys going? All right?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, fantastic. I was thinking, how long is this bull going to, stop talking? I was thinking it's going to take away a bit of my time.
Oh, I know. You've got about 3 minutes, so hurry up. You know what I mean? He's hogged it.
What's going on? I know you can go on a bit, can you?
I thought I could waffle. You know what I mean?
I'm only joking, Josh, if you're hearing.
Yeah. He's probably turned off anyway.
No, that's all right. You guys are trying to work out how to say my name.
Yes.
All right. It's pronounced as Jean-Michel.
There you go.
There we go.
I think I know it first.
All right.
Okay.
No worries. And but that's not mentioning my surname, of course.
No, we're not. Don't even bother. And I've
You gonna
tried.
give that
Like
one
I
a
said, I can spell croissant, and that's all I've got. You know what I mean? So, Jean-Michel, we're working with that, or I'll just get lazy and call you the Frenchman.
Let's keep it simple. You guys can just call me JM.
JM, I love it.
Oh,
love it.
That's a bit of
love
a struggle.
No worries.
I've got a couple of questions for you, Jean-Michel.
That's all right, yep. All
First
good.
of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, I'm a local. I've not been around for that long, probably around 8 years. Sort of moved from the southeast region down now at Don Beach. So, lovely place. We've got 4 kids. Happy to be married. Been married for a few years now. And we've hit double figures, of course. Just a busy guy. I'm a social worker. So I work in that industry. So I'm, you could say, an essential service person in the community, especially at the time we're going through at this point. And just a busy guy who's just trying to live day by day and just enjoying life as it is.
I was actually going to mention. I was going to say, thanks for being on the front line. I'm sure all the supporters and players, etc., want to thank you as well. I did notice that when you gave out your personal details. It's fantastic. And I know you're on the front line at the moment. I just wanted to ask you, how's your self-isolation going? You've obviously been busy working.
Yeah. It's been a hard one. I actually work for Services Australia, so we're the ones who have been there right at the beginning with the government's implementations of, payments and various other things there. And you can only imagine there's a lot of distraught, shocked, individuals out there who are sort of, this is unprecedented. This is really, really pretty full on. So coming home, self-isolating, sometimes it's actually a choice for me because I tend to want to probably isolate myself from what's going on out there, to be honest. And, and it gets hard and it gets pretty full on. But you know what? Spending time with family, which has been great. I think sometimes at times like this, you could sort of take a lot of things for granted, you know what I mean? So, and to appreciate what you have, it's really important. So, and it really sort of draws on what Chelsea Heights is all about. I've noticed when I come to the club, it's a very family orientated, feeling, culture. It's just an extension of where I'm from. So it's been a really good experience up until this point. So I'm here, isolated, DIY. I don't know what the next project's going to be. A couple of times I've visited Josh's, shop and grabbed a few recycled timbers. I've done my decking based on the old 25-year-old recycled Merbau. So he's seen my face a few times. So, just doing a lot of DIY around the house.
Mate, if you get bored, 264 Wells Road, Chelsea Heights, I've got a shitload of work to do. I started off house like guns blazing, did stuff, just got lazy. In the undies on the cats. Sorry, mate. I'm just hopeless.
No, I can't be rested. I can't get rested.
Seriously, I would never work if I didn't have to. You know what I mean? I'm like Jabba the Hutt. You know what I mean?
Still a few years away before I get to that point,
mate,
I think.
We appreciate your work and what you do there, especially like you said on the front line. That's terrific stuff. So it must be really hard. So
it does. It does, and it highlights how fragile our society can be. But at the same time, on the other end, it just shows how we all can get together.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of stuff going on behind closed doors, and there's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress upon others, who've lost their jobs and various other types of things going on in their lives. So, there's a lot of tension. What's really important right now is just making sure they're all connected. Not forcing yourself to sort of isolate to the point where there's no more connection. That sort of is a bad thing for everyone. So
I think that's the key, isn't it? You know what I mean? Whether it's just a phone call or a message. I've been lucky enough to have a couple of phone calls from just people, and I've done a couple of things to drop off some tucker to friends of mine, and just that, I really appreciate that now. I probably didn't before.
Yeah.
And it's just, you haven't seen your mate, so they ring you up and you go, Jesus, I really missed him, you know what I mean? And it's about taking everything for granted, and then now it sort of puts you in a point where you don't anymore, you know what I mean? You think, geez, I really want to get down the club, or I really want to speak to him, have a beer with him, and just appreciate the time, you know what I mean? So,
I totally agree. As I said earlier, I mean, you just take things so much for granted before all this has happened. So, no, like I said, you know, let's all reboot. I think this is a great opportunity for all of us to reassess our lives, and you know, let's make this, you know, a good, you know, an opportunity as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Got another question for you.
Yeah, mate.
Righto. So, you're the man. How's the squad looking this year? How the current can you give the current players an update? What's happening with netball this year? It was going great. It's like everything just stopped. So we need to know your point of view. And just remember, you're not Josh Bull, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. I got you. I got you. All right. We'll get straight to the official. Similar to what Josh was sort of going on a little bit about with regards to the AFL, with Netball Victoria, the most recent media release, which was on the 15th of April, again, in line with various other associations, including the AFL, we've basically at this stage, all community netball, the season itself has been suspended at least until May 31st, 2020. Again, as with most things, you know, things will be reviewed based on the impacts of various, you know, government strategies and all that type of thing. So as it evolves, and as we all know, the Premier Andrews is going to get together, I assume, and probably consider the 11th of May as being the day where there could be some consideration to sort of, you know, lighten our, you know, the restrictions. So we're just going to have to go with the flow at this point in time. So there's a lot of stuff at the moment where Netball Victoria is just going through the motions. A lot of gentlemen, you know, there's a lot of meetings going on at the moment, trying to work out where all this is going. But again, it's, you know, we just need to wait and see how things are going, because I mean, even though we've got other states around Australia who are reducing their restrictions or lowering their restrictions, we've got a situation in Victoria where you know, it's a bit stronger in regards to making sure that we do the right thing before we start moving forward. So, you know, we just have to just accept the way things are, trust those people who are making those big decisions, and just sort of and take it where we just take it as it comes. So, in regards to the team, quickly, the girls, they're fantastic. They're a group of very enthusiastic girls who are just keen to play the game. We were only just a week away from going through the motions with our grading. Because, of course, as you all know, as you mentioned, I think pre-interview, this revitalisation of the netball club as in the netball team has been, nearly 3 years ago. I think the last time we had a full-fledged team. So this is a whole new team. Is that right?
That's pretty much right, mate. It's basically started from scratch, so... Yeah,
that's it. So this is like a phoenix, you know, coming out from the ashes. So, and again, very enthusiastic girls. We've got probably around at this point in time around 14 girls who are keen. I think a couple of the girls are partners of a couple of the boys who are playing for the club. So it's been awesome, and they've wanted to contribute themselves. We've got some old school players. We've got players from other teams who are wanting to participate. Nicole has done a fantastic job, who's coordinating it all, and she's really, her enthusiasm has really transcended into us, and you know, we really want to perform. But at the same time, we want this to be also a fun thing, you know, an enjoyable experience for all the girls, because I've probably got around half the girls there that haven't played netball at all, ever in their lives. They've played other sports, of course, but yeah, they're enthusiastic, and the development of the team itself has dramatically improved. Just thankfully, they're all come from a sporting background, so their fitness levels do vary, but they're all slowly starting to get to that point where they're starting to move quick and on the course. The progression from basically not being able to run an oval to now, you know, pacing themselves. The agility is improving. Their skill sets improved. Everything is improved a lot. So we were quite confident to do well through the grading system. But of course, this whole unfortunate COVID-19 has just just come in at the worst time. And so, hence, at this point in time, we haven't been graded.
So finally, JM, thanks very much for your time. I just
No
wanted
worries.
do you, if you do need any more players or you'd like any more players,
Look, at this
who should
point
they
in
contact?
time-
Yep.
Yeah, no worries. So at this point in time, I think we've got a fairly good sized team at this point. I mean, if any extra players want to join, we're not going to refuse. That might give us an opportunity to maybe have one or two teams, minimum one, of course, but maybe a couple of more. Who knows? It just depends on who wants to play. To join, look, there's. I believe that Nicole would be the best person to get through to, so I would assume that they can make contact via the club, direct, via Facebook, whatever other channels they can get their numbers through and make some contacts. And then we get through to me, and we can, when this all hopefully starts back to normal, we'll hopefully they can come and train with us, and we'll go from there.
Fine.
Oh, you're still there?
Yep, we're here. Thanks very
No
much,
worries,
mate. I
good.
really appreciate your
Yeah,
time.
really appreciate your time.
And,
And we'll touch base again soon if that's okay. Well, once the season does get up and running, and if we're still on air, we'll be able to get some updates. It would be fantastic to get the results.
Oh yeah, that's a definite. And I like again, and on a final note, I really appreciate everyone's enthusiasm and trusting me to bring this netball team together. I'm finding a lot of good people out there in that team. I'm like Josh, I'm only new to the club. My son is one of his players, and that's how I found out about the interest in getting this team together. Hence, I thought, and my wife actually also plays, and she's a pretty good player. She's a fit player, fit woman for her age, so she's the eldest. But the girls, they love her. They see her as being a good mentor and an experienced player, and we're all helping each other through this. So, and as a club, we are too. So it's been a great experience. I really thank everyone for giving me this opportunity.
Well, thanks for your time.
thanks, mate.
Thanks.
Speak soon.
No worries. Good luck, guys. Have a good night. Okay.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Bye
it.
now.
Yeah, mate. Bye bye.
So I wanted to bring up another topic.
Make it simple.
It is a simple one. I wanted to know who came up with the Demon Tail. How did it evolve? Who wrote it?
The Demon Tail.
Yeah, tell me a bit about it.
Well, it's funny enough.
Yep.
I've got a bit of insight in that. I did.
You did?
Know what I mean?
Oh, there you go.
I don't know how it originally evolved. I think it was. I think I always wanted. I'm always good at writing, speaking shit. I suppose you know what I mean. Bullshit, whatever. I can talk. You know what I mean. Give me a couple of beers, I can talk for hours.
Yep.
And that combined with the passion of the club. And there was always a story. I was always, like I said, I was a new guy here, but I've seen so many stories involved in this club that they're insane. You know, not hardly people wouldn't believe half the stories that happened. You know what I mean? So I had an old typewriter once. I don't know where I got it from. And I used to type it up. And I used to type it up every Thursday night, and it was basically what happened on the day, the first seconds, and then the social activities after that. Yep. And I think at the start, I used to give it to Colleen Nickel. And so I'd type it up. It was all mistakes. And then Colleen would go and get this little, get it like a header and print it on stuff like that. And we bring it on Thursday night. We used to put it in a box. It used to be a metal box at the old club in the Demons colours. We'd stick it in there. And it was a bit of a rundown on the week, the training, how he went, who got on the Terps, who did this. The nut made it nearly every episode, you know what I mean? But it was just something to keep involved.
Yeah.
It was sort of social media before its day, you know what I mean? So people would keep involved, have a bit of a... It's just made me having a laugh, so...
Yep.
But it was tough because the problem is I used to be the one out the Terps as well. So
Yeah,
the feedback
yeah,
wasn't that great, you know what I mean? So when they asked me about stuff, I thought, well, just fake it, you know what I mean? No one knows, and just add a bit of bullshit, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Well, Demon Tales, I think he did a few years of that. I was lucky enough a couple of years ago that Jeff McDonough had the whole batch of them, and his grandson dropped around one day. So I actually got the originals
we still
at home.
have them.
Yeah, and they're pretty
Wow.
average. They're very, very average. You know?
Yeah.
Very average, you know what I mean? But Yeah, I should probably bring him on and show
Yeah,
him the
yeah.
boys
Well,
have.
Josh was talking about bringing some scoreboard numbers in. You could auction off some Demon Tails. There's some memorabilia
and,
out
and
there.
3 bricks.
And
So
3
then what
bricks.
we get, maybe we'll get enough money to go upstairs, you know what I mean? Sure people are after 3 bricks these days, you know, old scoreboard numbers.
Exactly.
It's a fortune.
So what we've done tonight, we've got a past players wheel here, and you're
There's
going
2.
to
Look at the size of that baby.
you're going to spin it. There's plenty of names on there.
There's a lot of names.
There's a lot of names. Past players, they must be nervous. Not only are they nervous, they might get a phone call, but they must be nervous about there could be a demon tail about them.
That's true. It's true because we've done a bit of a home and we've squeezed. You can't really see, but there's a lot of names. On there. The only sort of prerequisite we've had is, and this is no offence to anyone Chelsea Heights because I'm a Chelsea Heights person. Some of us aren't the greatest talkers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there's no members from Mensa here, yeah? Okay? Right? None. Let's be honest with that, you know what I mean? That's fine, you know what I mean? We all know where we come. That's fucking great, you know what I mean? So we're going to spin it. We're going to find out who it is, and we're going to ring that lucky person and ask them a few questions.
Ask them some questions.
A few of you blokes, and let's be fucked. There's some of the stories over the years we cannot tell. One, because we'd either get shot, locked up, closed down, or go back. It's just too many, you know what I mean?
That's
Seriously.
right.
So we've got to
There
be
is.
careful what we say and
Yep.
what we can and can't
Yep,
say.
yep.
Is not to basically tell the truth, you know what I
Yep,
mean?
yep.
So we're going to give it a spin and we'll see what we come up with.
So
What
we
do you
can't
reckon?
give it a whirl.
Unfortunately, we haven't got it hasn't got the clicker board like
Oh, I know. I wanted to give it.
or Chook Lotto we used to have
Yeah.
on Friday night. So
Yeah,
we'll give it a
clicker board.
spin.
We'll
and
give it a good
see how we
spin.
go.
Give it a
And
good spin.
Righto.
We gotta go. Let it go.
Let's
Let it
go,
go. Let it
boys.
go.
Let's go.
Oh,
Give
there
us
we
a-
go. There's badges gone past.
Oh,
Bear bum.
badge? Is that
Yeah,
Slob?
There's Slob.
Bear bum, yeah, I've seen that.
Whoa,
Mickey,
yeah.
who's that? Hang on, slow down. Who's that? What does it say there?
Who's that? Let's
that-
give him a call. Let's give him a call.
Let's give him a call.
Let's give him a call.
We'll let you know
This
what it is in a
lucky
second.
person that's landed on tonight, let's give him a call.
Hope he's home and not in jail.
Oh, I know, exactly. Oh,
He was in jail.
his phone's not disconnected.
Well, yeah.
I've got the right.
He's in jail. He might have already used his one phone call for the day. You know what I mean?
All right, just calling now.
This could be interesting.
This could be interesting.
We know
this
it is.
person.
Who do you reckon? You guys on the live feed, sling up a few names. Who do you reckon? All I'm doing is Chris Harns having some sort of bromance with Brownie and Chewy.
Here we go. We'll try again.
There you go.
Try again. So this person, this is going to be a surprise. They're not answering.
This could be a wrong number.
This-
Another wrong number. Sweet. Who's the proofreader? Hey? Not me. I'm as blind as a bat. Where's our producer? Where's she gone?
I don't know.
Seriously.
Missed call.
Miss Cole.
So I think he's trying to give me a call back.
I was going to say, they're not supposed to ring in and, volunteer. It's the whole idea of the wheel, you know what I mean? Hold your horses, champion, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Oh, you're some sort of narcissist.
This is quite bizarre.
Hey?
Is it Puppet? Is it Bear Bum? Is it?
Is it Ronnie Condi?
I can't actually tell you.
Is it Ronnie
So I wanna
Condi?
keep it
I roam with Venus Costello. Is it? Is it Paul Smith?
Is it the hitchhiker? Remember the hitchhiker?
The hitchhiker?
Remember we picked him up? Remember we picked him up
Yeah,
to go to
yeah.
Hampton Park?
Yeah.
Picked him up, Mark Cox was picked him up on the side of the street as a hitchhiker. He come down to Hampton Park and he kicked 6 goals.
No, just try.
It's actually not a true story, but anyway. It's a good story.
Jesus, Dinger, I'm just trying to call you.
Dinger? Is it Dinger?
He'd be asleep by now.
Yeah, Dinger.
man.
He's asleep. Is it the Chicken Man?
You know where
It's
he'd
the
be?
Chicken Man. Chicken Man?
Oh, Chicken Man.
Is it the Chicken Man?
He'd be across the road annoying my mate Mick Eden.
Here we go. Let's try.
Hello.
Hello. Who we got here?
G'day. It's Flaggy.
Ah, Flacky.
Legend.
How lucky are you? The wheel has fallen on
You've
you.
won. You've won the booby
You've
prize.
won the booby
Flaggy.
prize.
I've never won a raffle in my life, so I think
Wow.
you're bullshitting.
Well, it's you know what? It's the shittiest raffle you could ever win. You know, but congratulations.
About 25 weeks a year for about 10 years, I bought a ticket in Brian Gately's raffle, and I never won.
Well,
It was a 1 in 20 chance, so surely the odds say that before one time, but no.
Flacky, it's Toddy here, mate. He told me a story. I said to him one day, I said, has anyone from the opposition ever won the raffle? He goes, you kidding me? There's no chance in the world. I never won one too. The worst one, and I'm getting off the subject, he was sick one day and Slugger Roy did the raffle. And I was out of work, right? This is a true story. So Slugger comes round to me. He goes, Pego, here, grab the ticket, pay for it. He goes, keep the ticket, keep the ticket. And he's winking at me. So I'm thinking, I'm on. It's going to be rigged. It's always been rigged, but it's my day. Anyway, he comes around, and the winner is blue 25. I've got green 27. I said, what was the game? He goes, oh, yeah, I mucked it up. You know what I mean? You're the most shit-house raffle ticket bar Brian I've ever seen. Absolutely true story. Welcome, Funky. Good to have you on, mate.
Good to talk to you guys. I saw a little bit of the show earlier before everything went downhill here at home, so it was a pretty punchy start. So well done.
Yeah, we've gone downhill ourselves, so that's it. Get on first because it might be like the one only show. You know what I mean? Yeah, it could be like the bricks we've got. I only got 3 bricks in one show. Anyway, we're getting into semi-serious stuff. I've got a couple of questions to ask you. So. Is it my go?
Yeah.
That's how professional we are. We're killing it. Where are we? Okay. Where are we? Let's just bring it.
Okay. Tell us a bit about yourself, mate. Years at the club and life outside the club. And what do you do now? What since footy's over?
Yeah. So I guess I'm to people that don't know me, I grew up in Warragul. Did school and my early footy there, and the first probably 7 or 8 years of my senior footy career.
Yep.
And then I had been doing uni in Melbourne for quite some time and travelling back there, and decided I wanted to be a little bit closer to the city. And around that time, I think it was Guy Friend, who had previously been a Warragul guy as well, and was involved at Chelsea Heights, gave me a call, and I went and caught up with him and puppeted a few times, and one thing led to another, and they offered me the coaching job there. So that was in 2005, and yeah, then I spent the best part of the next kind of 9 years heavily involved at the club, 7 as a coach, and a couple, one more as a player, and then a couple of years as vice president. So I guess that was my involvement at the club. And then after that, I went and did a stint of 5 years at Glen Waverley Hawks Footy Club as a senior coach there. And this year I've picked up the reins as the under-11s coach at Glen Waverley, which is kind of our local club here now. I live in Mulgrave. So I guess that's sort of where my footy career's taken me. But my junior coaching career hasn't got off to a great start because I haven't even met half the players. So we're looking forward to hopefully getting a chance to get on the park during the year with, and my son Oscar is involved in that. So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, how old's Oscar now? I haven't seen him for a long time.
Yeah, so he's just turned 10.
Is he in the team? I mean, he's just shooting, obviously, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's trying to get.
Yeah, well, don't crucify the poor kid. You know what I mean? So,
he is. Yeah, he is. So he's been with this little group for about 2 or 3 years, and he's doing well. He's a little fella, but his footy's coming along pretty well. And I've got 2 daughters, Emily, who's 8, and Ivy's 2. And we're sort of happy little family here in Mulgrave. So in terms of what I do, I'm a civil engineer, and I'm a sort of director and co-owner of a land development consultancy in Dandenong, KLM Spatial. So we work on a lot of greenfield and industrial development projects, mainly in the southeast, but all over the place. So that keeps me very busy these days, guys.
Just one question, Flaky. I didn't know you were that intelligent, all right? Did you? Was that on your CV when you gave it to the club? Because anybody in previous would have not got the job. They would have understood what we were talking about. They go, no, we'll get the next bloke. He's Drainer, you know what I mean?
I've got a few mates that refer to me as the dumbest smart bloke that they know. So but I'll lose my phone very regularly, and I do a lot of dumb shit. So that's okay. I've somehow managed to fumble my way through my career so far.
Nice, mate. Nice. Well done. Well done. So Grantley's got a question for you.
Yeah, it's time for the Demon Tail quiz. Are you ready for it? We're gonna put
absolutely.
We're gonna put you on the spot here.
And I just want to say, Ryan is he's a very intelligent man.
He is.
He's got a memory.
Yeah.
He also he didn't mind a bit of a play up, and he He'll answer these very well, I trust you. You know what I mean?
So all our Demon Tail participants are going to get this quiz each week. So here we go.
Okay.
So put your thinking cap
Yeah.
on here. Play that you would like to be in the trenches with at war.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think when in my time at the club, we were a pretty hard team to play against, and there were some tough players there. The Roberts boys, and Jace Miller was always pretty keen in terms of being in the trenches at war. I think he would have been one who was pretty eager for that.
Okay.
But I guess if you go on the theory that if you're getting hunted by a lion, you don't need to be faster than the lion. You just need to be faster than the guy who's with you. Maybe Chuck Engel.
Beating who there? I don't know. You know what I mean? I've seen a bloke eat so many pizzas in my life one night.
And everyone's had one of these. Who's the worst roommate on a footy trip and why?
Stephen Bound.
Oh,
Chief. The Chief.
we understand.
Actually,
Why?
Yeah, the worst and the best. So I knew what I was in for rooming with Chief, but I still did it.
Does the word testicles come to mind?
They came to mind. They came to front and centre. They came everywhere. No, Chief was an interesting character, and certainly sort of touched on all of the senses: sight, smell, sound. Probably not so much taste and touch, but he was a very funny man, Steve, at his best, and I hope he's listening. But
I think he
we
is.
had some funny times on a couple of footy trips, particularly Adelaide. I do remember, and I think I've got some photos somewhere that are some of the funniest things that I've ever seen.
He's a good man, the Chief. Lovely man.
The player most likely to be the last to leave.
Well, I usually would know because I probably were usually in the last handful there. But Buckwheat always seemed to be there, and Fitchy fighting for the microphone at the end of the night. So they're probably the guys that spring to mind. But there were a few guys that used to kick on well beyond my time as well.
Okay, best player you've seen down at the Heights?
Lots of good players. Probably it's hard to go past Ash Roberts, who I think most people will probably say the same thing. Terrific player, and really enjoyed playing with him as well. Not just because of his skill and ability, but a really good fellow as well. But we had quite a few talented players there, and I mean that showed with the stint that we had playing in 3 Division 1 grand finals in 4 years. Unfortunately, we couldn't get over the line in any of them, but yeah, there was a lot of really good players. I think Paul Weinberg often gets underlooked for the achievements that he had as a league medalist and dual best and fairest player as well. He was a terrific player. So lots of talented players and lots of good memories there.
So I found out one night. Remember that? I'm not sure if we had a talent night or a no talent night, and it was miserable. It was a typical night that no one turned up, and it was a shithouse event and stuff like that. I think it was a rapper, and I think you were here doing some sort of. Did you get the guitar out? My memory's fading a little bit, but. So my question is, remember? Yeah. See, that's why I asked you, because I don't. Player who'd be mostly likely to represent Chelseaites at karaoke, and obviously. There's 2 obvious ones, you know what I mean? But who else? Who's the best one, you reckon? And you just remember, that Paul only had one microphone, so Fitcher and Buckwheat couldn't share it all the time, okay? We had 2, but it didn't work, so...
Yeah, well, Fitchy and Buckwheat were both pretty entertaining, but there was a couple of other dark horses as well. Ash Beasy was, I think, a pretty regular contributor up at the Highways Hotel on a Thursday night. He always used to have to knock off the training track early, and he said it was because of work, but I reckon it was because I found out that he was a pretty regular contributor at the karaoke competition up there.
Was that with his old man Noel?
No, he'd get a guitar out as well. And the other one who actually wasn't bad was Muzzy Ferguson. He was actually He did quite a good Robbie Williams.
Did he?
Yeah, so they're probably the guys.
Definitely a character.
Yeah, Rapper falls in just slightly behind those guys.
Well, he's more of a poet rapper than a song man. You know what I mean? I don't know if you hear that
right.
that he gave that he wrote a poem for Ricky Ponting was here, and he read it out. You know, and Ricky Ponting, he took it home with some. I don't know what else. A bowl of sushi we gave him and a poem from Johnny Raptors. I'm sure it was a whole lot of his cricket career. You know what I mean? It was just terrific. Well, I mean, we've got the next question.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, is there a current player you're looking forward to seeing this year that you know of?
Well, when I come down there, the thing I love most is still seeing the guys that I ran around with playing, and that probably doesn't change much. You know, I mean, I'm hopeful that, you know, to see guys like Walshy and Gilly and Jaden and those guys, if they manage to suit up this year, running around. I love watching Geordie Perryman play just because he plays with such heart and passion, and I think he's a really good example of kind of what Chelsea Heights has always been, someone who, you know, sort of never gives up, and he embodies all of that. But I'm really looking forward as well to seeing some of the, you know, accomplished recruits like Robbo and Gary Carpenter that come down there and give some leadership to the group as well this year. So I think the recruiting drive, you know, has been terrific obviously from an arm's length and just an observer. So yeah, let's hope that they can get on the park and give it a good shake this year.
Best dressed player at the club. There's a few.
I think
not me.
Cozzy, Damien Costanz and Geno were always, you know, pretty keen on getting the hair right and looking the part before, during and after the game. So they're probably the two that jump to mind there.
Fair enough.
And apart from yourself, favourite coach and why?
Yeah, well, I played under myself pretty much my whole career there, but the 1 year that I continued, not that I got many games in, was under Ash Roberts and Ben Lockwood were the two co-coaches that year. So I guess I have to say them, really. I've listened to myself and my own husky voice far too much.
Any pre-game or post-game hoodoo superstitions?
Not really. I used to eat a couple of bananas and a couple of Gatorades. That was probably the only thing. That was a bit of a routine, but I didn't have much in the way of superstitions, no.
Okay. And this is obviously the smartest guy in the club, but the player most likely to invent a COVID-19 vaccine.
Just remember, there's been some super intelligent blokes in this club, Blakey, as you know when you're 7 or 8 years. You know what I mean? There's when you say Chelsea Heights Footy Club and you look in the thesaurus, it says genius. You know what I mean?
Well, I reckon there's probably quite a few guys that have actually drank bleach, so that could be possible. But I reckon if anyone, it'd have to be probably Phil Matheson. But then he probably wouldn't. He probably wouldn't release it because the environment's doing really well with everyone at home. So
yeah, exactly.
He'd probably keep it in his fridge.
You know,
but
he's in some little shanky town of Vietnam right now, boiling it up, and he's going to sell it to the world. You know what I mean? And it'll cure climate change and everything. You know what I mean?
That's right. He's got all bases covered, Phil. But he's a great man. He's a beautiful human being.
Okay, finally, Flacky, this is where you get to spill some dirt on some people, and there's probably a few people that are quite nervous listening. We want a demon tale. So have you got a demon tale for us that you can tell us about?
A demon tale? I knew you guys had asked me to try and spill something. I mean, most of the stories are either that are really funny or can't tell. But I've got a couple. So I'll sort of work my way through. Big Phil Smith, who is just one of the world's great bogans. I just remember the look on his face. Early days, we were playing him at full forward. He got the ball over the back, ran through three people, and just creamed the ball from the goal line. And there was a poor old bloke, he'd probably be 80 years old, It was driving rain, freezing cold, and he's just booted it straight into him, the goal ump, and dropped him. And most people would go over and just check that he was all right. Big Smithy just turned around and goes, I hit him in the dick. So that was, and ran off high-fiving everyone. So that was probably number 3. Number 2, I think, we in the pre-season one year, or a couple of times, we went on a big hike where we started at 1,000 steps and went up to the top of Mount Dandenong and back. It was pretty sort of grueling, probably 35k hike up and down the mountain, and it was about 35 degrees. And I remember being a sort of thicker set kind of guy, Walshy was giving me a fair bit of Darren Walsh, a fair bit of sort of sledging, I suppose, on how I might chafe up during the day. But I'd managed to negotiate that because it wasn't my first rodeo. Anyway, 7 or 8 hours later, we got back to the bottom of the mountain, and Walshy was just a broken mess. And I remember laying on the lawn there was still a lot of, young men and women fit getting up and down the 1,000 steps, and Walshy's just rolled back and dropped his dacks, and you could feel the heat. You could feel the heat from his groin coming from about 5 metres away. He had the most serious case of chafe ever, and I did a lot of laughing over that. And I guess the number 1 was Travis Coote, who was one of our favourite characters when he was playing, and a very talented player. And one day he wasn't doing too well up on the wing, so I put him in the forward pocket at Hyatt in the last quarter, and he's kicked the only 4 goals for the quarter, won the game off his own boot. And he came in, and I was about to give the boys a bit of a speech about how proud I was of them, and it was a big sort of come-behind victory. And he just stopped me. He said, before you start, Flucky, I just need to do one thing. He walked across the front of everybody, grabbed an ice hack out of the esky, walked back over, put his left foot up, and just stuck the ice pack on his left foot. And he goes, that's better.
Yeah, the arrogance of the man. I thought he would have been complaining about it. Yeah, I thought he would have been complaining about his shoulders carrying everyone.
Yeah. So he wasn't shy in letting us all know who the man was on that day. So it was very vintage Trav. So there were a couple of stories or tales that I look back on fondly about my time, and always have a good chuckle with those guys.
Thanks. Look, Ryan, before we let you go, I just want to give you a shout out to the family. How's Kelly going and your mum and dad? I'm telling you, Ryan was a great coach here and a great bloke and a really good Chelsea Heights person. He put everything in. He did everything he could and he involved his family, and his family were really lovely. I remember having to speak to his dad out the front. We got beat East Brighton, and we're all heartbroken. And he said to me one day, he goes, Todd, have a look in there. He goes, it's not always about winning premierships. He goes, there's more to it than that, you know what I mean? And he put it into perspective. We still had broken ass, but he said, look, these guys will be friends forever and stuff like that. So there's more to football. He's a really good guy. Kelly's obviously a lovely girl to put up with these guys, and the family's just wonderful. So just how are they going? They going good?
Yeah, we're going well, mate. We're very lucky, I guess. We've been able to keep working and everything during this difficult time, and Kelly's amazing. She's sort of working with the kids with the homeschooling and all that, while I sort of lock myself away and get my day's work done. So they're all going really well, growing too quickly, but all happy and healthy. So we've got no complaints about that. So there's a lot of people in worse position than we are. So
well said.
Yeah, well said, mate. Yeah. Thanks for having us on. Really appreciate, especially your insight for being a guy who's been around here and knows a bit about everything. So thanks for having us, mate. Oh, thank you, and thanks. Say hello to the family for me, and hopefully speak soon, mate.
Yeah, we'll have a frothy soon.
Yeah, we'll do, guys. I just wanted to say I think you're doing a really great thing. It's one of the best parts of Chelsea Heights as far as clubs go. I don't think I've seen any better in terms of the way that people rally in times of adversity. So this is just another example of that, and hopefully it's going to pull the little community together, and when the guys get on the park, it's going to be a different setting. They won't be able to run in on hard tracks. It'll be cold and wet, and there'll be a different way to start the season. So I'd just give a shout out to Bully as a first year coach. It's a lot to take on anyway. And I wish all the guys all the best, and I'll be certainly trying to get down around the club when things kick off.
Thanks for your time. We'll take your name off the wheel. You've done a fantastic job tonight, telling some great stories. So thank you very much for your time.
No worries, guys. All the best.
Cheers, Flakey.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers.
Harry Chef, I just wanted to mention MP Chelsea Demolition 039 770 8810, specialist in recycling building materials.
That's them.
That's them.
I think that's the coach's business, isn't it?
As JM told us, he redid his deck with recycled timber.
Mate, get over there.
Get over there.
Mate,
Get on
you're
it.
part of the
Get
club,
on
you
it.
get it. I'm surely Josh is good enough to give you a discount.
He would
You
give
know
us a
what I mean?
discount for
Dead
sure.
set. You know
Dead
what I mean?
Yep.
Mind you, I need 2 bits of 3 metre corrugated iron by 800 and some other stuff. Anyway, it's pointless. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
We've come to our last segment. We've gone way over time. Of
We
course,
have.
we didn't judge it very well, did we?
No, average.
All the past players are in bed, no doubt, by now, easily.
Slob Fanning, you
Easily,
there?
I'll have the
Slob, hello.
slob. Are you there?
Testing, Slob Fanning.
Who do we have? Is there anyone watching?
That,
What are the guys
I'm not sure. They'd all have the dressing gown on. The pipe would have been put out by now. The red's been put away. The magazines have gone away. I think they'd be in bed by now. But
The slippies are off.
the slippies are off.
eh? And the Doona's tucked up to the chin. So.
But we're going to head into a segment here called the Best 22. Look, I want you guys to put your thinking caps on each week and come up with something different. So you might come up with the the best golfers that played football down the Heights that also doubled up in the golf club. The best hard nuts. We could have the best left footers. The best team of all time. We could throw in a few of the current players in there, or
the best players with massive conks like Travis Coote. You know what I mean?
I might get a Guernsey and that
Well,
sort of
you
thing.
never know. There you go. Put your thinking caps on, boys. Hey.
They put your thinking caps on. This one's coming from the Gumption. The Gumption's
Which
come in.
Gumption's that? The original
Shane,
Gumps? One and only.
Shane. We've got
one
the
and
Gumption and the Gumble Nut. So we've
yeah.
got the Gumption, the
Gotta
original.
Clarify that.
Got to clarify. He's come up with the team. He's called it the Factory. Now, he's put it out there for people to see if they can guess the names that I read out here tonight. Where are they from, and how do they fit all together? So they've got one thing in common. So I'll read out my side. So on the back line here, we've got the Greg Putt, the putty. We've got the Gumption himself, Shane Gumption Blake at fullback. We've got the best back pocket player Chelsea Heights has ever produced in
Peter Pan.
Darren Reynolds. We've got Killer Keely on the half-back flank.
Great
We've got-
Geelong fan.
Yeah, we've got the Bobby McKay at centre back.
The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock.
We've got Bernie Keeley on
Hey.
the other half-back flank. We've got S. Baker on the wing. So this is going back to the 70s here. We're talking about when the club first formed, S. Baker. We've got the great man himself,
you know the
Reginald
guy?
Walter Reggie Reynolds in the
Absolute
centre.
legend.
He's played at the club in their first year. I think he won the best. He did win the best and
He
fairest. What am I
the
saying?
inaugural
Thinking?
best and fairest.
He did.
You should know that.
He did.
Anyway,
On the other wing, we've got the
Loose lips.
chalky man himself, Chalky Reynolds.
Chalky.
He's always breaking something. On the half-forward flank, I found out that R. Lambert, Brett's dad, who was the EDS champion.
Correct.
Yeah, played in the initial year at the Heights. We have the great man himself, the Gumblenut Blake. Hopefully we can get him online one night.
Big arms.
Yeah,
Big
big
arms.
arms, bucket hands.
Worst golfer in the world, but
Yeah,
anyway.
we've got Herbie Moore on the other half flank.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Bit of intimidation there.
Yeah, we've got the other Blake, the Mark Blake, the other brother. We've got Big Dave Pacey at full forward. I wouldn't like to play on Big Dave Pacey. It was a great unit.
Monster.
Yeah, and we had one of the Peterson boys there in the forward pocket, one of the three brothers. Followers, we have Rusty McKay, Big Rusty. We've got S. Baker and the journeyman, O'Brien. Obi O'Brien. He was a journeyman. He's there. He's must have played about 1,000 games. I think he
1,010,
retired.
I think he
Did he
said.
retire at about 45?
Yeah, no, he come back for another 7 years. You know what I mean?
What a great player he was. On interchange, I've got the other Peterson boy. We've got Pinhead here on the interchange. Mark Sinclair, who was a Navy boy, and I'll put in Rennie Ryan there as well on the bench, the Park footballer.
Park Football
Yeah,
Association.
yeah, put him on there. Runner we've got is Froggy, so Cordery. President is R. Baker, who was president here for a very long time.
Nice.
Coach I've got is the father of R. McKay. Chairman of selectors, Brian Humphrey Blake.
Ooh.
So there's my complete team. So can anyone guess what that is? And look,
Is there a
Badger.
link there? Are these somehow connected somehow?
Badger. Look at Badger.
Badger?
Badger is online
Is
straight
he?
away.
Where is he?
He's on
Robert?
it. He's on it.
Oh, on you, Michael.
He's on it straight
Well
away.
done,
He's
Michael.
picked it straight away.
Well
And good on
done.
your Badge. It is exactly right. It is the boys from the Third Ave. One street.
One street.
One street in Chelsea Heights, in the old part of Chelsea
That
Heights.
was a legendary street, actually.
That was a
wasn't
legendary
it?
street.
Absolutely legendary street.
Might have been because we had a park, maybe, that we could actually kick a footy
Probably,
around.
and then we could probably go around to Bobby McKay's joint and drink cans. In the
Oh, we
Mutton
could do
Road,
that.
so,
Yeah. But what were all the parents think? That all had boys. It was amazing that street could produce so many
Absolutely.
players.
Yeah, no, absolutely legends.
Yeah.
Legends,
So
absolute
look,
legends.
Nick, if anyone can everyone can put their thinking caps on. So throw the puzzle books away, turn off the TV and get a bit of paper and a pen and come up with something and send it into us because we'd love to go through it and see if the boys can pick what it is.
Are we done, gentlemen?
We're just about done. Unless there's any questions, anyone?
I've just got a couple of things I'd like to say, if that's okay. I want to
Yeah.
be a bit self-indulgent. And if anyone's not asleep by now, I'll probably be asleep in 5 seconds. Shout out to Dave Johnson, Pumpkins Blinds.
Yep.
Dave, if you want to sponsor next week's thing, we can do a bit of work for you.
Yeah, we can.
Contact me, Dave. You've always been a good supporter, a great supporter of Blake and of the club, and a really good bloke anyway. So hit me up, and you can sponsor next week's event. It's all about you.
And
next week,
this
mate.
is probably obvious, but Pumpkin Blinds would keep out COVID-19 off. And
Absolutely.
And,
you know what you do? If you're at home, he
Yep.
can make you skateboard ramps,
Yeah.
right, which he's doing at home.
Yep.
Put them in the backyard, keep your kids happy, everyone's happy.
everything happening. Put some blinds on at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Two jobs
yeah.
with one. Was it the Bird Tuesday?
Yeah, that's it.
Whatever it is, something like that. And the other shout I want to do is just to shout out to my dad, who would have been asleep about 5 hours ago. My dad's not doing too well. Hope you listen to this. I love you. Take care and be safe. And I hope you're proud of your son for getting something like this done. So good on you, Dad.
Yeah, and to everyone else that listened tonight, thanks very much for your support.
Absolutely.
And hopefully this builds a bit of momentum. And look, big shout out to, I guess, a lot of the current players that are playing at the moment. If there's anyone that's interested in doing any work in media, would like to know anything about getting social media set up, video streaming, wants to compare, we'd love to have you on board. And come and see the Codge, and he'll look after it, because the football club is all about opportunity. So if there's anyone out there studying journalism, multimedia, that wants to do a bit of work, and come on the show, it'd be fantastic.
Absolutely. It's all about sticking together
Yeah.
and helping out the community and looking
Yep.
after each other. So that's what it's all about.
Yep, no worries. All right, thanks very much for your time, and thanks, Codge, for putting it on.
Thanks, mate. And I hope to see you all next week if we don't get shit canned.
Yeah, that's
Cheers.
it.
Cheers, boys.